Live.
Yeah. Good evening, America and the rest of the world. Okay. America is at war. All right. Tonight, the new epoch of the gods. Through the power, force, might, and will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of almighty flow. The great nothingness of infinite beingness, of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible light from which comes the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into realization, actualization, and form as we all now will and commanded to be. Now, being and becoming an active force of higher consciousness, an active force of infinite intelligence within us all now. Being and becoming the great primordial dragon god sun Kundalini flames, now whirling and ascending up our spines from our root chakra to our central heart chakra, all the way up to our royal crown chakra, igniting our royal crown chakra, illuminating our first eye, our Lord Amunel Dragra, our hidden priestly grandmaster, Magi, dragon god, son, king, and queen, the monad, and all of our legions and our 72 primordial dragon god sign kings are the 72 chakras in our first eye, our 72 primordial dragon god sign kings and queens, and all of our legions of 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 armies 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 of armies. Now, willing all the powers, all the forces, all the elements, all the essences, dark matter, dark energy, and ethers ruling the entire omniverse, earth, and physical and spiritual matrix and heavenly sin to be and to becoming all of our will, serving all of our wills, objectives, intentions, and desires, crystallizing them all into realization, actualization, as we all now will and commanded to be. Now, being and becoming an active force, an active source of supernal light and energy that we're using to unlock and activating all of our higher DNA, returning it all back online within us through the black dot within our first eye universe, be the world to come. Now, increasing the vibratory rate of our entire being up higher and higher and higher, changing every atom and subatomic particle of matter within our entire beingness back into a new primordial chaos out of order being of higher manners, the master manifester of all reality and beingness, manifesting into our reality and beingness a new and greater mind connected to Atma, the Most High. Wow, pulling in unlimited supernal light from and energy from right out of Atma or the monad and into our higher and lower manners and on down into our physical reality, manifesting it here as all of the substance that we need now to take total control of our reality in this matrix through the knowledge of our true higher and lower inner self as we began to learn how to magnetically reattaching all of our higher DNA back together again, empowered by the supernal light and energy of Atma, controlled through higher manners, to begin phasing in universe B, the world to come, while phasing out universe A, the world being and becoming destroyed now, by raising the vibratory rate up so high until it begins awakening and igniting all of the divine sparks in this matrix one by one, all going supramental consciousness together, bypassing all of their humanity, completely destroying this illusionary matrix at once, being and becoming pure supernal energy, vibrating higher and higher and higher, being and becoming more massive than the sun until we suck the entire sun and solar system into our supernal darkness and supernal light, collapsing this entire space time continuum into our supernal energy as it continues vibrating faster and faster until it implodes and explodes, forming into universe be the world to come on a new earth expressed in its most grandest grace, beauty, in a universe now built on the foundation and fabric of divine love, peace, justice, harmony, and balance as all of the souls come together to celebrate the great feast and grand festival of the new epoch of the gods. Through the power, force, might, will of the great nothingness of the almighty powers of the great nothingness of almighty flow. The great nothingness of infinite beingness of infinite, endless, and limitless, invisible light from which comes the absolute all. All that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into realization, actualization, and form as we are now willing commanded to be. Abracadabra, Ashe. Okay, I'm going to introduce something new. I'm going to introduce us to the seven Olympian spirits. Number one, Aratron governs those things attributed astrologically to Saturn. He teaches alchemy, magic, and medicine, imparts the secrets of invisibility, makes the barren fruitful, and lastly, confers long life. Ashe. Number two, Bethor, who commands 29,000 legions of spirit. Each legion is 10,000. He rules 42 provinces. His his planet is Jupiter. The affairs of Jupiter are administered by Bethar, who responds quickly when called. The person dignified by his character may be exalted to illustrious positions and may obtain large treasure. He reconciles the spirit of he reconciles the spirit of air to man so that they, while give true answers, transport precious stones and compose medicines having miraculous effects, can prolong life to 700 years subject to the will of God. Number three, Phaleg, Phaleg, the warlord. His planet is Mars, of course. He rules 35 provinces. Phaleg governs the things that are attributed to Mars. The person who possesses his character is raised by high is raised by him to great honor in military affairs. That sounds like one of the Orishas. Number four, Och, the alchemist, physician, and magician. He rules 28 provinces. His planet is the sun. Solar interests are administered by Ash, who prolongs life to 600 years with perfect health. Therein, he impart great wisdom, gives excellent familiar spirits, composes perfect medicines, convert any substance into the purest of metals or into precious stones, which is melanin. He also bestows gold and a purse quantity described by English translator of the uh, abated as springing with gold. He causes the possessed he causes the hmm, he causes those who possesses his character to be worshipped as a god by the kings of the whole world. Ashe. Number five, Haggith, transmuter of metals the four commands of 4,000 legions of spirits. He rules 21 provinces. His planet is Venus. The government of Venero um, uh, concerns is entrusted to Haggith, and the person possessing his character is adored with all beauty. He converts copper into gold in a moment, and gold instantaneously into copper. He also gives faithful serving spirits. Ashe. Number six, Ophiel, who commands 100,000 legions of spirits. He rules 14 provinces. His planet is Mercury. Ophiel is the ruler, or Ophiel, Ophiel. He is the ruler of those things which are attributed to Mercury. He gives familiar spirits, teaches all arts, and enables the possessors of his character to enhance quicksilver immediately into the philosopher's stone, melanin, Ashe. And number seven, Fool, Phul, Lord of the power of the moon and supreme Lord of the waters. He rules seven provinces. His planet is the moon. Lunar concerns are under the government of Phul, who truly transmutes all metals into silver. Heals and provides spirits corporal and visible forms. He also prolongs life to 300 years. Ashe.
Shay.
Ashe.
It,
I can
um,
continue or you can go on.
Isis Ashe, Empress Ashe, Destiny
Ashe.
Ashe,
Ashe.
Cyrus Ashe, Tyler
Ashe.
Ashe,
Ashe.
Order Out of Chaos Beings Ashe,
Ashe.
uh, uh, Ashe,
Ashe.
uh, Setmet Ashe,
Ashe.
Satan Ashe,
Ashe.
all the gods known and unknown, all the goddesses known and unknown Ashe.
Ashe. Well, America's at war today.
I mean, you say America's at war. That's cliche now. That's
Well,
cliche.
they're blowing up a few people. Them and Israel isn't realist. Yeah,
This
what's
whole
new.
this whole system was conceived in war, so
Yeah, yeah, and
you
deception.
gotta just accept that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
See, but the thing is that the what we calling America,
Hmm.
the political entity called America, is on sacred land, and the whole world recognizes it as sacred land. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
this is kind of why they're able to vicariously live off of our
birthright.
birthright.
Yeah,
They that's how they're it's a spiritual thing on how they're living off our birthright, because until we claim it, they
yeah.
can actually exceed it. They can use the energy.
They can execute it and have protection, divine protection.
Oh yeah, they're definitely aligned with our with the spirits that basically are our guide to the return back of the gods, return back to the ancestral state that we was in, right?
Hmm.
They are definitely in align with it because we align them with it. Because this is the thing about the European, man. We are intricately, well, they are intricately um, tied to us. Why? Because they basically are aspect of who we are. See, most people think mutations, and they explain they're coming about on this planet as a mutation and everything. But we got to understand that when you use the word mutation, and when you use you're talking about biological evolution and things of that nature, right? When you're talking about that, you're talking
Hmm.
about the hybridization of humans. You're talking about genetic engineering, and you're talking about something pulled and spliced from the origins, the original dominant genetics, right?
Hmm.
So when you're looking at the Europeans, right, you're literally looking at a spliced human, a genetic engineered species, right?
Hmm.
And they're not directly connected to us genetically. They are indirectly connected to us because we provided the genetic material that was involved in those experiments
Yeah.
that were done in the ancient world.
Yeah.
And this is what, like, this is crazy how all this ancient technology is kind of catching up to us now. Like, remember, did you see that video I showed you?
Which one? You
I
sent me.
recently sent you a video, and I put in the text.
Oh, the one, the not the one you sent me today, because I told you what was up with that. You have to send it to me again to the other phone.
Okay,
I can't see it. Oh, I no, I should be able to see it because I got Wi-Fi in here.
right. But
Yeah,
the
because
text
I
I
can
sent
see.
you basically is a commercial for this free energy device.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
they introducing it now. They're like, this shit is old as fuck, man. Mind you,
the
this shit is
Tartarian
old as
Empire.
hell, huh?
Yeah, the Tartarian Empire had that shit way I mean, hundreds of years ago. They had electric vehicles, they had electric monorail train systems, airships. Their architect is light years ahead of what anything they can do today. And
See,
a lot of that architect was left behind, and we inherited it, or they inherited it, and built over it, and inverted it from what it was into cathedrals instead of being um, temples that give free energy. They became temples that pull in your energy.
hmm
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
they got societies to this day. There's a country that's in that's in Turkey.
Hmm.
Well,
Oh yeah.
it's I showed you, it's a video of
You showed me
them.
that they're
Yeah, they've
probably like
utilizing this architecture. They use a lot of this architecture that allows them to and harness free energy. Right, they're
yeah,
using a type of technology of architecture. Even when you go into Moorish architecture, a lot of those Moorish temples, they
yeah,
were
with the dome.
energy harnessers. Yeah, they
Yeah,
were
but
energy harnessers.
yeah,
Right,
but
you
see,
can
that
harness
was all over
energy.
the world. That at one time, that was all over the world. We were living in a free energy society. Something happened, and they changed everything. They changed the history, and the people that was left over were taken into
They
orphans. And
they literally said this before in their history, their account of the history is that we was taken back to the Stone Ages.
yes, we were taken back. We're is what's left over of a highly advanced civilization that all of a sudden disappeared. And then the people that were
No,
left
no, no,
over,
it didn't disappear. It didn't disappear. It became so high of a vibration, and we came so low on our vibration that that's a distant glimpse memory. Anything when we dealing with mythos, we're dealing
mhm,
with something so far beyond our vibration that we on now that it becomes
mhm,
like this vague memory, or this it becomes this vague memory, or it becomes like these variant memories that come on. Like, people get these deja vu. A lot of people
yeah,
is talking about this right now, about how they're getting these visions and these memories from a past technologically advanced society and shit.
well, they exist in a timeline outside of this timeline, which eventually converged together.
They do converge, especially now
Yeah,
in the cycle we in now. All of
they're
We talked
all of
about
them are
that.
converged.
All of these things are converging.
Yeah, they're
Even
just through.
time, that we talking about time, but vibrational polarities are converging too.
Yeah, hmm,
So
yes,
you getting that literally means that heaven is heaven is down to earth and earth is up in heaven. They one and the same now.
Well, actually, we never really left heaven. Everything is happening within heaven, or what you
You know
can
what I'm
say
saying?
within
You're right.
the
I
absolute.
mean, you're right. We saying we both right, but I'm saying
Yeah,
at this
but
particular
at
state of
this
our
point,
evolution.
yeah, our perception of
Yeah,
our reality
right.
and consciousness, in our perception, our conscious perception of what we perceive as reality. And I mean, when the book we was talking about, the Urantia, oh my God, damn. Our
Right.
universe, our little universe is just a fragment of a super universe that's full of universes and full of galaxies, full of planets, full of godheads, angels, whatever, and Christ figures. And this is only one of seven grand super universes, which are operating outside the spectrum of dozens of eternal universes, with the the monad in the eternal center. And so this thing is so fucking vast. It's mind blowing. In other words, our soul has a hell of a journey ahead of it, or we're already on one hell of a journey right now as we speak. No matter what you're going through, even if you're a bum on the street, you're still in this journey. Your soul is on a journey. You're not going to remain a bum in the street. I mean, at some point, you're going to die and go away, or your body goes away, but your consciousness continues on. But then again,
That's
your
another thing
conscious.
that's fluent though, because all of these societal constructs and class dynamics and stuff,
Hmm.
they're merging now. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? A
yeah,
bum, a bum, and somebody who's rich are one and the same now.
pretty much. Yeah.
You know what I'm
I mean,
saying? Especially if you just look at the economy. The fraud can only go on for so long.
yeah. I mean, the way this thing is set up, anybody can become broke or broken by this shit at any moment. I mean, now we got this blood red moon coming up, and they starting this war in Iran. I think something between now and Tuesday, something very, very, very significant is emerging. I think
Well,
the
there
energy.
are a lot of cosmic events coming about. They talked about how see then look, we have to be very, very due diligent on actually studying words and figuring out whenever they talk to us, they're casting a spell every time. So
Well,
recently they talked about gravity will be basically lost for a couple of minutes or something, right?
yeah. So, mhm.
But then again, they're not giving you the full. See, gravity itself is a narrative, right? Because what we're really talking about is density shifting, right?
Oh
Because
yeah,
we're really
yeah,
talking about density shifting. I remember
yeah.
I talked about this, right? I
Hmm.
constantly talked about all of 2024. I was talking about density shifting and talking about how the morphic field is shifting now. It's changing. The vibration of the morphic field is changing.
Yeah.
So
Well, the
it
Schumann
it looks
resonance.
to us because all of that stuff it exists in hyperspace. We exist in a slowed down version of the vibration, and we're basically getting it later than that hyperdimensional perspective of it, right?
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah.
seeing all the time. I'm seeing it from the hyperdimensional perspective of it, brother, all the time. So
Hmm.
that's how I'm able to give insight. all of the physics of this reality have been broken down, and really it's like a clean slate. We were going to have to redefine all of physical reality again from what's coming, from what's happening. I mean,
From a non-physical aspect too, almost.
it is that's the basis of it, because the spirit realm supersedes the physical realm. So if the
Yeah.
spirit realm is shifting and going through vibrational changes, all of
So
reality, because like I said, what
so
we're
what
looking at as physical reality is nothing more than a perception, or like you said, it's a sensory perception, and um it's a sensory perception and a vibrational phenomenon.
Mhm.
So really what we're seeing is not what it is.
No shit.
What we're engaging in is not what it actually, what they're, see, because we've been given this narrative for years and years and years that this is what it is. So of course we project that,
Yeah.
but that's not what it is,
No. And that's why we're having all these glitches.
because the knowledge is being, and now it's the knowledge is becoming more accessible, is going to literally challenge the program that we've been on.
Yep.
We're going to challenge that. And now, as a result, because the collective consciousness is what is shaping this reality, because there are even if it's like, so let's just say, because even just look, we just count humanity. Well, imagine all the other beings that are here in
Hmm.
this, that are engaging in this end time eschatology event,
Yeah.
right? There are
Yeah.
many other beings. That's why they so interested. Other beings are so interested in what's happening in this particular sector of the cosmos.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing is, they want to see how things come back to balance. And then what happens when it does come back to balance, to true balance, how this energy going to be, because how fucking powerful it is in the imbalance means when it is balanced, it's going to be even greater. But speaking of
in
the
my,
imbalance, hmm?
go ahead.
Speaking of the imbalance, I was want to continue on with the Apocrypha of John, where I left off at on the four luminaries, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, brother.
Okay, the four luminaries. Now, from the light, which is the anointed, and from incorruptibility by the grace of the Spirit, the four luminaries that derive from the divine self generated, gazed out in order to stand before it. The three beings are will, thought, life. The four powers are understanding, grace, perception, thoughtfulness. Grace dwells in the eternal realm of the luminary, harmozel, or harmozel, Harmozel, who is the first angel. There are three aeons which this eternal realm, with this eternal realm. First one is grace, second is truth, and the third is form. The second luminary is Oriel, who has been appointed over the second eternal realm. There are three other eons with it: insight, perception, and memory. The third luminary is Davathea, who has been appointed over the third eternal realm. These are three other eons with it: perfection, peace, and Sophia. These are the four luminaries that stand before the divine self generated. These are the 12 eons that stand before the child of the great one, the self generated. and everything by the will of the Holy Spirit through the self generated Piguradamus and Seth. From the foreknowledge of the perfect mind through the express will of the invisible spirit and the will of the self-generated came the perfect human, the first revelation, the truth. The virgin spirit named the human Piguradamas, 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 and appointed him to the first eternal realm with the great self generated, the anointed by the first luminary, Harmazel. Its powers dwell within it. The invisible one gave him an invincible power of mind. Piguradamas spoke and glorified and praised the invisible spirit by saying, because of you, everything has come into being, and to you, everything will return. I shall praise and glorify you. The self generated, the eternal realms, the three Father, Mother, Child, perfect power. The appointed He appointed his son Seth to the second eternal realm before the second luminary Oriel. In the third realm were stationed the offsprings of Seth, with the third luminary Davathea, the souls of those who were ignorant of the fullness. They did not repent immediately, but held out for a while and repented later. They they came to be with the fourth luminary, El Eleth, Eleleth. These are the creatures that glorify the invisible spirit, the fall of Sophia. Now, Sophia, who is the wisdom of insight and who constitute an aeon, conceived of a thought from herself with the conception of the invisible spirit and foreknowledge. She wanted to bring something like herself without the consent of the spirit, who had given approval without her partner and without his consideration. The male did not give approval. She did not find her partner, and she considered this without the spirit's consent, and without the knowledge of her partner. Nonetheless, she gave birth. And because of the invincible power within her, her thought was not an idle thought. Something came out of her that was imperfect and different in appearance from her. For produced she had produced it without her partner. It did not resemble its mother and was misshapen. When Sophia saw that her desire had produced it, pro- when Sophia saw what her desire has produced, it changed into the figure of a snake with the face of a lion. Its eyes was like flashy bolts of lightning. She cast it away from her outside the realm so that none of the immortals would see it. She had produced it ignorantly. She surrounded it with a bright cloud and put a throne in the middle of the cloud so that no one could see it except the Holy Spirit, who is called the mother of the living. She named her offspring Yaldabaoth, Yaldabaoth's world order. This is the first ruler, the Archon, who took great power from his mother. Then he left her and moved away from the place where he was born. He took control and created for himself the other aeons. He created aeons with luminaries, with luminous fire, which still exist. He made it with mindlessness in him and produce authorities for himself. The name of the first is Athoth, Athoth, whom generations call the Reaper. The second is Harmas, Harmas, who is the jealous eye. The third, Kali La Umbre, Kalilaombri. The fourth is Yabal, Yabal. The fifth is Adonai, Adon, Adonias, Adonaios, who is called Sabbath or Sabaoth, Sabaoth. The sixth is Cain, whom generations of people call the Son, Sun. The seventh, Abel. The eighth is Abrasim, Abrisene. The ninth is Yobel, Yobel. The tenth is Armopael, Armoupieel. The 11th is Melchior, Adonim. Melchior, Melschcheir, Adonian, Adonein. The 12th is Belias, who is over the depth of the underworld. Yaldabeb stationed 7 kings, one of each sphere of the heavens, to reign over the 7 heavens, and 5 to reign over the depths of the abyss. He shared his fire with them, but he did not give away any of the power of the light he had taken from his mother, for he is ignorant darkness. When light mixed with darkness, it made the darkness shine. When darkness mixed with the light, it dimmed the light, and it became neither light nor darkness, but rather gloom. This gloom, this gloomy archon has 3 names. First name, Yaldabeth. The second is Sakla. The third is Samael. He is wicked with the blindness within him. He said that I am God and there is no other God besides me, since he didn't know from where his own strength came from. And I end there, and next will be the rulers.
Man, if people recognize the symbolism in that mythos, the just the layers of basically architect energy, and just it's layered and layered on layers and shit of this manifestation of these energies that basically they basically um, someone called upon them, and someone did an activity that brung about, right, these manifestations, right, and all of it originates from its source. That's what he was referring to. He
Yeah, well,
had
it
no
all.
idea. He had no idea of the source of the power he had.
Mm-mm.
We're dealing with people dealing with tremendous amounts of power,
Yeah,
but they're not balanced within
no,
themselves.
no, no. But they have, see, yeah, they got their mother's power, and they have the blueprint of the higher realms within already within them. But they're ignorant of those higher realms. But they have the blueprint in them, so they're able to imitate those things. But it's only an imitation.
Right.
Yeah. So he
And
was able.
all of the different aeons, like grace, like what were the other ones? grace, um,
Oh, perception, um,
perception,
mind,
mind,
thoughtfulness.
thoughtfulness. That's aeonic energy
Yeah,
is what they're trying to give you to. Is basically if you exist in that vibration, you're giving off aeonic energy instead of as
right.
opposed to archon energy.
Well, wait till we get to the archon energy, okay? They got the same shit too. Like I said before, he has a pattern of the pleroma in him. So he created a, a fabricated copy of that. And beings, he created his own eons too, as well as archons. All right.
But the
And
deeper meaning is he rep dollar the dollar brought for what's the name
y'all the best.
Yaldabeth.
Y'all the best.
This entity, right,
Yeah.
is an entity of
It,
appearance. Like if you can
yeah.
see beyond what it appears to be, you will
Hmm.
go beyond him. You go beyond him.
Well, if this, well, I got to tell you, it's a layer. The rabbit hole goes real deep. So some people can get caught up thinking that they're on the eonic realm, but they're really on his eonic realm
Right.
because he patterned. Okay, especially if your ego, if you're being led by your ego gonna lead you into the eonic realms, but it's gonna be on the archonic level. It's gonna be on Yaldabaoth's fake um pleroma, which is poisonous because it's not an eternal realm. It's a flawed realm.
But
So
it'll appear to be a divine realm.
yes, it
You
does.
will get on that. You will be on that realm, and you will think you have arrived.
Yes, you will have think you have arrived. And then eventually, but surely, you'll find out that you're not even close.
I mean, that's basically what happened to us when we came to this realm. It's all illusionary. It's all perceptional. And if you are, it's you have to become a mastermind here because everything is basically attempting to pull you this way or that way, sway you because we represent. I mean, those who have the divine spark is basically we have a bit of the monad within us.
Yeah, and plus we're the battery keeping this shit going. We're the energy keeping this
Right.
shit going.
That's because we are intimately attached to the monad. We are intimately attached to the monad. So they can pull from the monad through us.
And at the same time, we have the undivine spark of the demiurge in us too as well. We got the undivine spark and the divine spark. Okay, we're both.
Yeah, I agree.
We're special. There's nothing like us.
Right.
Nothing like.
That's why I came up with the concept order out of chaos beings. Because we
Yeah,
are not order, we are not chaos, we are something beyond both of these understand polarities.
yeah. We can balance both of those polarities and bring and turn them into one.
Right. So the seven heavens are either the seven depths of the abyss.
And
This,
the five steps of the abyss and the seven heavens. He got rulers down in the five levels of the abyss, and he got rulers in the seven heavens. But from I'm hearing, after the seven heavens, it's 365 more heavens. with 365 more rulers because he created 365 angels.
Yeah, we are ninth ether beings though. So are the realm where we actually originally manifested in was the ninth ether realm. So we precede these other seven realms.
Yeah.
The realm
Okay.
that we fell from, the realm that we fell from,
Yeah.
and we
And so,
constantly have that attachment that it's like it appears we fell, but we really didn't
mhm,
fall because we still there. That's the dynamics we have to really come to grips with.
yeah, we collapsed our own self into this, or we've been convinced. Somebody duped the fuck out of us. Okay, somebody duped the fuck out of us. Well, no, actually, it was Sophia. Sophia fell. When Sophia fell, we fell with her.
We existed in that realm that
Yeah, we already lived.
she had dominion over that realm, and we was in that realm at the time. So we
Yeah.
fell in vibration when she was tampering with whatever she was tampering with, because it's just like what they're doing with this harp and this CERN. They're
Mm-hmm.
tampering with shit that they have no clue of what the fuck they're doing.
No, they don't. They're just little babies sticking their finger in a goddamn fucking
They think
sticking their
in the
finger
damn
in the
plug.
light socket.
And they're gonna do the Neanderthal effect where they're gonna get zapped 1,000 times before they realize.
Should they hear? Imagine a Neanderthal man sticking his finger in the light plug, all his hair goes up. Oh God
He
damn.
gonna go. He gonna go.
That
Hurts.
should be smoking too.
He gonna be like. He gonna be like. He gonna be like. "Zzz, hurts.
Mhm.
Zzz, hurts. Zzz, hurts." Because this is how. This is his programming. He has to
Yeah,
be. He has to be doing something 100 million times before he get it.
yeah. But speaking of that, you know what? CERN isn't the only large hadron collider. There's one over here. They built one in Texas that's way bigger than that one a long time ago,
And
and
they
then
got they got mini ones. They got little mini ones now that they
yeah.
they they experimenting here and there with shit. You got to understand that shit that they announced to us is just
Hmm.
the that's just the bullshit. They got so much shit right now, bro. It's crazy. Remember I
Yeah.
talked about that earlier today. They
Hmm.
got all of these different. This is another reason why they want us to be centered in the cities, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They want us to be centered in the cities. Like when I said I took the trip, and then somebody else talked about a story just like that recently, talking about
Hmm.
I noticed that all this land, just miles and miles of land, just take a trip to the Vegas.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of
Miles and
nothing.
miles and miles and miles and miles and miles of empty fucking land. What the fuck?
I
What's
know.
really going on here?
Yeah. They can build aqueducts. I mean, it snows every year, and it look like this year we got so much snow. There should be more water than we know what do you do with it. There
Man,
should
we
be
don't know what
ways.
we. That's another reason. That's my main reason why we need our own government, because we can't depend on their research and what they always have a political motivation because they're colonizers.
No, see, no, well, see, since they don't, they're six ether beings and they don't have the divine spark, they exist off of scarcity. They run off of scarcity.
Right.
We
and
run off
and,
of
and, and
abundance.
and hyper aggression, scarcity, and hyper aggression, because
Yeah.
they there are instances where they could have avoided these things and they went towards it. Like something's wrong with these people, man.
Well, they rather do that than give up their authority. Yeah, they're
True.
absolute
That is a specific dynamics of these of the psychology because they're control freaks. They're domineering in nature. They want to always they're narcissistic as fuck. They want to control,
yeah.
and
And
the only way they
they
feel like they can control is through physical dominance.
and they're willing to allow the world, they're willing to sacrifice anything for that. They'll
See, but this
sacrifice
is the new age is where that power is going to be rendered
useless.
nothingness because of that power that they have is going to be
Uh-huh.
rendered nothingness because it's just like how Neo eventually he defied physical reality.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what we're going right now. So
Well,
it's like what Haiti did with France,
mm-hmm.
right? They literally defied physical reality. They were doing some type of magical spell that allowed them to win that damn war.
Yeah, they woke up and went back to their original true self. They remember who they really truly are prior. And aspects of that shit came online, and that wasn't beautiful for the
No, I
friend.
I get what they because it's like this all the stuff that I've been orientated in this indoctrinated program that we're in that
Mm-hmm.
don't even mean the same to me anymore. Like you can't you can't put fear in me like threatening my life and doing that stuff because I already know that's bullshit. That's like one of the biggest illusions.
Yeah, death, there's no such thing as death. However, after death, there's a such things as pitfalls that you can end up in, and you can end up in a situation that's worse than death, almost.
Right.
Because they say, and when you're dealing with these seven rulers, if you don't come correctly, that shit can be very fucking fatal for your soul. They ain't gonna be nice, and you better not come.
I mean, if it's
You,
so, you saying is more brutal than what we already experienced.
it's brutal for the soul getting thrown back into a physical body. That's very painful for the soul and very traumatic. That's, you remember, like
I
in
mean, if you transition here, you would at this point, if you are actually sincere, I think that was one of the our the aeonic energy spirits, right?
well,
Sincerity.
no, that wasn't, it wasn't sincerity. They didn't say that. I'll
Okay,
get
so
into, yeah, but
if you sincere, right
uh-huh.
here is sincerity. It's sincerity, and I'm what I mean by sincerity is an honesty with yourself, right? To where now you're able to see through the illusion, and you're doing the development that's going to allow you to become a mastermind, a spiritual sovereign, a
Well,
mastermind, a spiritual sovereign.
we were already a mastermind and spiritual sovereign when we were ruling with Sophia. We have to go back to what we were when we were ruling with Sophia prior
I mean,
to the
of course, but
fall.
I'm saying in order for us to not fall into those pitfalls, because we talked about the pitfalls prior.
That's
See,
how
I,
you
I
do
don't
it.
I don't want to just talk about gloom and doom and not have ways for people to maneuver. It's like it's not gloom and doom. You can master over these things.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm trying to explain. The only way to do that is identifying with the pre-existing self before creation. Because by doing that, you're aligning yourself up with the entity that um, that has jurisdiction over them. In other words, that has rank over them. They have no rank over that being. They have no rank because they didn't create that being. They didn't create what we are, what who we are with Sophia before she fell, and even after she fell, we're still that same. We're still the same. It's just that they covered us over with layers of forgetfulness. So see, we've been covered over with layer of forgetfulness. So all we need supposed to do is just remove each layer until we get to our purest self. There's nothing to recreate or to evolve into. We already it's we have to unpeel, dig down, and get back to it because it's already there. Like our sovereignty, okay? It already exists, it's already there. We just have layers of misconception and lies put over it. But we have to unpeel each one of those and get back to our pure, true sovereignty, right?
I agree.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's they both learning about either one is learning. You're learning about both. And when we were taking the class for the trust, what was that word they use when there's a conflict of interest? When your shit conflicts with anything that belongs to the government, which gives the government jurisdiction and right to penetrate
Minimum
your
contract.
trust. Yeah, minimum contact. Same thing exists in the spirit world. Your spiritual trust must not intercept with the demiurge trust. And when it does,
Well, you can
it,
you can. It's just like how you do when you do like you straddle the fence between private and public.
yeah, you can do
Right,
that.
you straddle between public and private, meaning also it's
Contract,
like, huh?
contracting.
Right. I mean, there's ways to engage without being in the jurisdiction.
Yeah, what
And
they
that's
call
what we're learning. We're learning
minimum
to
contact.
engage without having to be subject
Minimum,
to the jurisdiction.
yeah, with that minimum contact.
Right. I mean, these are techniques that we're becoming more aware of, and that's
Yeah.
what we need to start applying. And that's where it lies in. Because I don't. My thing is, a lot of people can't comprehend nationality at this level. It's layered, is what I'm saying. It's like I've graduated from an understanding of nationality that was like initiate understanding, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Now
You
I
have.
understand that nationality, right, is
Hmm.
a way to project your reality into the world. It's
Yeah.
literally it's literally how you it's how you create your own worldview. Your whole worldview is separate from. It's just like how American politics is like totally different from Russian politics, and even to the point where the time the time schedule in Russia is different from the time schedule in America. It's like two totally different states. When
Well,
you're
those are
dealing with
two different realms. Two different
my
realms.
point exactly, see, when you're dealing with the word state alone, you're dealing with a state is a mental condition to where it affects the reality that your environment. So
Yeah.
the state you're in, right? When they saying you going to this state or you going to this state,
Yeah.
they're not giving you the full totality of what you're invoking when you say state. You're
Yeah.
invoking something. You're talking in the spirit realm. Like you
Hmm.
just said, we're speaking from the spirit realm. Now, the degrees I've been graduating to understanding nationality, right? It's like our original political mother is Morocco, right? And
Yeah.
I hear a lot of people gonna have some connotations to that whole, just that alone. They're gonna have connotations, and they're gonna have biases that they've learned about the word Morocco whenever you just hear the word Morocco. And I'm mindful of that, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm coming from the perspective of understanding that Morocco literally represents the political supreme global seafaring imperial governmental structure that what we see today as these modern political entities that exist today, they owe tribute to the Moroccan Empire.
See,
All of them.
they they
All of these modern political entities or states owe tribute to Morocco.
and but
So
see,
it will behoove us. Listen, let me finish.
okay.
It will
Mhm.
behoove us to attach ourselves to something that is power is superseding, right? if
Mhm.
we're worried about if our intention is to worry about the fact that we have been enslaved by a colonizing state, well, the answer to that is return to your actual state prior
Well,
to prior to, like you said, we're not, like when you even dealing with the post millennium and all that, we're not,
mhm.
like you said, we're not going back to that. We already it already exists. We're
Yeah.
just reattaching ourselves to this pre-existing state.
Yeah, it already exists. We the ones that don't exist within that realm. I mean, but we do,
Right.
but somehow, some way we were taken
We
out of that.
detached ourselves. We detached ourselves, and it literally talks about this in the treaty. I mean, it was either the Fez Treaty or the French protected Morocco, where it literally talked about how you can actually uh, what was the word, the language they use, you can relinquish your protection over from Morocco, basically. And that's what
Oh,
most of these people have done. They have
mhm,
relinquished their protection over the superior state, is all I'm
mhm,
saying. This is
yeah,
the superior state. Why would you relinquish yourself and go under an inferior state that actually recognizes that structural imperial government through its documents? You think you think that the Constitution supremacy clause says that the Constitution and the treaties are the supreme law of the land, right?
mhm,
And it goes further to say the treaties supersede the Constitution.
damn. Mm. Well,
Yes.
then if that's the case, then yeah, well, well, we've been layered over with a lot of stupidity. We've been forgetfulness. Okay, we're in a system that teaches us how to forget who we are and what we came from, and pull us further and further away from that until we can't even recognize that, until we can recognize it again. I mean, they've taken us so far south until shit, we're coming back north.
Mm, right.
We ended
Right.
up back north. We gone so
Right.
fucking far south,
And,
and
if,
we're back.
and the no pun intended, that's literally another esoteric or hidden meaning of Morocco, right? Morocco
Mhm.
means furthest west.
Mm.
The furthest west. That's what you're talking about when you say the word Morocco. That's a hidden meaning of Morocco for those who are higher degrees, right?
Mhm.
It means furthest west. What's the furthest west? The east.
Yeah. And what you doing when you're going west? You're following the what? Sun.
True, 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 true.
Yeah.
Right. So this whole post millennium uh returning back to the pre-existing
Sovereign.
imperial state of Morocco,
Yeah.
it's all literally based in, like you just said, it's already done. We did it. It's already we already there. We
Yeah.
just gotta claim it.
Yeah. We just got
We
yeah.
gotta just claim it.
Mm-hmm. Full
And we
hearted.
have a vast, this is what Prophet Nova Drew Ali was talking about when he said a vast estate.
It's
A
like a world
vast estate.
trust. A world
Huh?
trust. Like a world trust.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
these insects are in our trust, living off of
Well,
it.
like I said, we gave them custodialship over the original state, right? They're
Yeah.
holding it until we wake up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then they're just doing what they going what they should. They said, well, they still sleep. Let's
Well,
do this.
of course, they're gonna if they have
Can't blame them.
access, if they have access to heaven, you know they're gonna take advantage,
Hell yeah.
right?
They go and they're gonna be flossing with that shit.
Look, I can give you another example of what I'm talking about. The Americas, right?
Yeah.
Why can't the United States drill oil anywhere in the Americas? I thought this was their jurisdiction, right?
They do. They do. They
Huh?
in Texas. Yeah, they do. In Texas, they got Eagle Ford, and they have the Permian Basin, and up
No,
in
that's all. That's all on the all of what they oil drill oil is all on the political zone from which the Moors gave them access to colonize on. That's
okay,
all
and
they
then
did. Now they've done trickery with the whole Louisiana Purchase, and then
mhm,
it was basically they convinced the indigenous people, right, that like they became like the more um what was the concept uh damn me basically they the colonizers did this. Well, that's what they did, right? They start tilling the land, they start maintaining the land and start doing that, right? So now by default they had became like had an interest in the land,
yeah,
right? They had an interest in the land because they came and they colonized, they did certain things to the land. So now they have an interest in, they never claimed ownership, they just claimed interest, right?
mhm,
So it was like especially around the time of antebellum slavery, they had convinced a lot of the indigenous people of the circumstances of colonization, right? And this was a whole. You can look at the story of 12 Years a Slave that give you a kind of a dynamics because they totally misrepresented that history, bro. They totally misrepresented the antebellum slavery,
mhm,
made it appear that all of us were subjects to that slave system when if you look at some of those maps of the colonial the political zone of the colonial zone, and all the colonial shit was just the plantations. So that's why it was we're looking at it emotional and saying how could they dare enslave a people, right? Well, this was something that had really what you're looking at is the ancient working class. I mean, I wouldn't say ancient because this was the evolution of the ancient working class at that time, right? What we calling slavery could also be labeled as what? Indentured servitude. Now, when you're looking at indentured servitude, there's variations to that. It wasn't all based in just brutal slavery and people got beat. It was layers to it. It was nuances to it. Meaning, some people would actually send them their people to, and it was the penal colonies too. That was the dynamics of the penal colony. People were paying their debt off to society and shit. and they came into slavery. Then you
And
had, hmm?
well, then okay, all right. And at the same time, you had the all of a sudden appearance of all of these mental institutions and orphanages in the 1800s, 1700s. And I
And that
mean,
was all
these were,
indoctrination. That was all indoctrination. That was more of them convincing us of their worldview.
yeah, but something that happened over here. They're calling it the mud, the mudslide or s- this was this there was an aftermath of something very extraordinary that happened. Um, there is also reports that the Tartarians were nuked.
Yeah, there are other instances like you can see certain parts of the planet where there are impacts, or you see these craters where it's clearly atomic. Um, like when an atomic bomb hits something, it
Yeah,
actually on a molecular level affects the matter,
yeah, and
right?
plus, usually they're exploded in the air above the city.
Right. So it
Yeah,
affects the physics of that particular material so you can actually detect it. They can actually detect if it was a impact of some nuclear, and they
yeah.
there are multiple impact sites where they have deemed it as being some type of nuclear bomb in the
Well,
ancient
this
world.
no, well, no, this shit just happened recently in the 1800s and 1700s when Napoleon went into Russia and they said they looted it and burnt it up. No, what really happened Russia was already on fire when they got there. And then when the French returned back, they left with so many hundreds of thousands of men and ended up coming back with only 60,000.
Mhm.
They they witnessed a nuke. There was technology on this planet that was just as advanced as the Elon Musk, the the Googles, them motherfuckers existed on here. They didn't just get here this century. They've been here.
Right.
I
Well,
mean, the
that bring me full circle to what I was initially talking about, is this free energy technology that they're introducing to us now, right? And
yeah,
mm, it's right around the time where they're speculating that the whole grid is going to fall off. We're going to be returned back to the Stone Ages and things of that nature, right?
yeah. And
And
then
it's
that's
like,
where the
damn, is
free
this a
energy come in.
coincidence? Is this a coincidence, or is the archons hard at work, right? Really trying to set us up again in this new shift of reality that we're going into,
Hmm.
right? They're
Yeah.
trying to so they're going to introduce free energy to us, right?
Hmm.
That's what I think they're going to do, bro. They're going to introduce free energy. This is going to change the dynamics of the ideal of this reality for us now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So people going to be more likely to keep perpetuating this bullshit.
Yeah. If they give us free energy here and give us a little more freedom and make this like a little heaven on earth, it they can keep it going long, real long. They can keep it going. And then when we return back into the next moon age, then they can clamp down again and take full control. Because we're
Mm,
coming out of moon age, going into a sun age, a golden age, and they want to stay in control. But since there's no solidity in this shit, we can flip the monad can emanate some shit so fucked up for them that it just completely flips everything over and takes them completely out of the picture. They become fertilizer and food for the world to come.
It is. Their reproductive numbers are so low right now that they looking at it like they not gonna survive the next century and shit, bro. Like their numbers are down. They're not reproducing right now. Now, if
Okay.
they are, they're doing it through means of genetic engineering.
Well, again, our battle is not against flesh and blood, but principalities in high places. So that means there are principalities in other dimensions, in higher heavens than this, that have shit going on that trickles down here using pulling energy from here to up there, keeping them going. All right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the war is in heaven. We have to take our war to heaven. We have to take out the powers in heaven. We have to take on the heavenly realms and
Wow.
implement eonic energies, those energies, those qualities from the pleroma into the system and trickle on down into the here. That light will destroy their system built on darkness or the gloom. It's
Yeah,
gloom.
'cause these even these angels are archons, basically.
Yeah, yeah, the angels. I read you the angels that were from the pleroma. Now, next, when I read you the rulers, I'm gonna give you the 365 angels that Yaldabaoth created, and each one of those represents 300 or 365 days, or in the 365 heavens, along with the seven rulers of the seven heavens.
Right,
So this we're in a vast um, what they call that labyrinth, spiritual labyrinth. It's not when you put all your energy down here, you take away the energy you're gonna need when you go up there. So
right. But like you said, we are in a omnipresent state right now, so we there and there at the same time.
yeah, so while we're down, so while the part of us here, the energy we have here, we must gain the gnosis that we need to take with us up there to use as the currency and energy that we need to get our will done after
Right,
we leave here. Yeah. And get and eventually get back to our pre-existing sovereign, true sovereign state of being beyond this shit, beyond all of the um this shit that happened after Sophia fell, getting back to what we were before the fall and beyond, and making this a bad dream.
right. It is what it is.
Yeah,
That's like
it
a
is what it
very,
is.
very, very bad dream that really
Very,
never happened. It
yeah,
never happened.
yeah, like the Wizard of Oz. Yeah, we
Right,
eventually we're gonna realize, oh my God, we have on the ruby red slippers. All we gotta do is just tap them, and then we leave Oz.
right.
Yeah, but the ruby red slippers is
It's
our
symbolic to
pre-exist
it's symbolic to the pineal gland, sorry.
and our pre-existing sovereignty, the remembrance of our pre-existing sovereignty before
Right, because
creation.
yeah, the pineal gland is a remembrance of it.
Yeah, it's what's pick up that signal.
Yes,
Okay, so we're functioning in that signal, and when we leave on that signal,
true.
and we
I
stay
agree.
on that.
I was talking about earlier how they're constantly bombarding us with these signals that's
Hmm.
basically layered over this original signal that we supposed to be tuning into.
Right. And that's what solidifying us into this realm,
Right.
or even um, keeping us entangled with this shit. When we can really unentangle ourselves, we can unentangle ourselves completely from this shit. And once we learn how to do it, oh my God, the system will fall. I mean, it will just fall. It just fall like on that movie Inception
Mhm.
with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah, I gotta watch that one again.
Yeah, you saw how
I
that
watched it
world was
before.
just falling apart. It
Yeah.
was just collapsing. That's a representation of us leaving this one, or outgrowing this one and growing into a new one. And this one is just falling apart. This illusionary world just falling apart.
Have you ever watched that movie Lucy?
Yeah. Hmm. Oh, when she
Man,
went through, she she went to 100% of her brain. The only way there is through the pineal gland.
right. You see how she went into a dark state too, like it was this black substance that she became at the end
Yeah.
and shit.
Well, hey, we just said we only use 5 or 10% of our brain, which represent 5 or 10% of the light that they see in the universe. The other 95% of the shit that they don't see, they call that dark matter. That's the other part of our brain.
True.
The 5% that we use, the consciousness, is the light, but the other, that's the dark matter side.
Mm,
And the way through that is through the pineal gland, hypothalamus, pituitary.
right. It's like
Yeah,
it's deep because what it's like we're constantly doing it. So you have to be aware of what's happening in every moment because it's like split seconds type shit that's it's happening. It's happening within a split second.
yeah.
Imagine that,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
So within that split,
An eternity's going by.
it's basically eluding us because it's so intricate within the splits. It's eluding us. That's why you have to be totally aware. You have to be aware and be aware and beyond awareness.
The only way to do that is go into the silence in the darkness.
Right. The darkness is a key point of actually meditation.
Yeah, it's put
Really,
you in a,
the silence is just one level of the darkness.
yeah, and it takes you into your primordial state, brings you into your primordial state. And the only way to get there, you gotta unpeel you gotta get out of your artichoke. You gotta peel your artichoke to the heart.
Right.
Only the heart can go, not not all the other bugs. But you got people, they got their artichokes half peeled, and they want to try to do it that way. You gotta peel that motherfucker all the way to the heart.
Right.
Yeah, and that's where you'll find the true pure you. And the rest of the world may not agree with it, but so what? But
I
it's the you
mean,
that you're gonna need to get the fuck out of here.
right. That's all archonic energy when you even deal with those inferior, petty ass human emotional vibrational states, lower vibrational states that people get caught in, and then they start projecting when in those
Well, they
lower
can't.
self esteem states they in.
Yeah,
they start projecting these things, man. They
yeah,
start
but
manifesting these things just from
yeah.
being in that insure, unconfident, that level of unconfidence that you have, and this is the energy that you're engaging.
Hmm. Yeah, that's because, like I said, both sparks exist in us simultaneously. The divine spark of the pleroma and the undivine spark of the vomit. Of, okay.
Right.
And so those doubts that you're feeling, those fears, that's the undivine spark of the vomit.
Right. But
But the ones,
divine awareness allows you to see beyond your fear. Divine awareness allows you to see beyond your insecurities.
yeah, and but your undivine vomit, or your undivine spirit of vomit, it wants to survive. And the only way it can survive is to constantly give you player hating thoughts
That's the
and getting
basis
you.
of its whole objective is survival. Like,
Yeah.
and it convinced us that our whole objective is survival, and that's not.
Well, no,
We are
it's
like,
survival, because
uh,
when we identify with that energy, then we're going to have the things that that energy manifests in our lives, which is
we're gonna attract that those archons.
yeah, and
We're gonna
what we're going to
attract
be
those.
feeding, we're going to be feeding those archons
Yeah,
with
we're
the
gonna attract
problem.
those. Yeah, that's what I mean. We're gonna attract those that lower vibrational sense, like, and because they're detecting it, they can't. If we go into a higher state, they can't really even detect us on those higher states because they exist on this lower vibrational,
Yeah,
right?
you know
So
what it reminds me of? When you're vibrating on those lower states, it reminds me of the little antelope that's getting tracked down by a pack of uh of it- hyenas. Okay,
right.
they
Hmm.
smell. Yeah, it becomes vulnerable, and here they come. They just come and just start munching on your ass. You just attract all these hyenas, and there's nothing you can do. You just so scared. They
I mean,
just
those hyenas interject. They represent a certain energy, energy being our blood sucking being that blood sucks our
Mhm.
parasite off of other beings.
Yeah, yeah, we got those, the baby eaters. Now, me, I don't eat babies, but I do eat my baby. But it's right now. You got all these things. People are paying a lot of attention to these vampiric energies and the Epstein files. And I mean, there's a lot of crazy shit coming out of those files. That guy was into some crazy stuff. He was into consciousness transference, meaning like in the movie Avatar, where they could take the consciousness out of the human body and put it into the avatar of an artificial body of those people that they made on
I mean,
that.
that's how they figure they're gonna prolong their existence here, bro. They've been doing that.
Yeah, I mean,
That's why
if
they got
Jeffrey
this
Epstein,
conspiracy. They got this conspiracy that a lot of the celebrities that we see today,
uh-huh,
you can actually see them in pictures of the past,
yeah,
right?
right, yeah,
You
because
can
they've
actually,
done transference of current consciousness into a new
yeah,
body.
yeah, right.
Yeah,
But it
yeah,
appears to be immortality, but it's really they're transferring their consciousness from one clone probably, or some type
hmm,
of clone, or some type of genetic engineered spliced
robot.
thing and shit. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Or it
artificial
may be a
spirit.
combination of both. Uh, so yeah, they. I mean, it appears to me that they have been doing this for
Well, that
centuries.
shit was talked about in the Emerald Tablets in the Book of Thoth. Okay, he was able to do that shit.
Mm,
It's nothing new. It's nothing new. It's been
right.
around for a long. They were doing that shit in Atlantis, in Lemuria. Shit.
Right.
Yeah. We're just something left over from all of that, from the aftermath of all the wars and takeovers or whatever that happened on the planet.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
and
it's a
you know,
perversion. It's basically a perversion of perfection. It's a perverted perfection.
yeah, 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 because
It's
Yaldabaoth had
perfect.
he had a pattern of the perfect universe in him. He has his mother energy, so he can imitate the perfect world. He can make imitations of the eons. He can make imitations of a lot of things, and he can have many different faces himself.
Right.
Yeah, and have many
And
different
the
names.
power in being able to influence these divine sparks to do his bidding and things. That's where actual power comes from. Because this
Mm-hmm.
glamour or this illusion or this seeming reality is
Mm-hmm.
getting people quantumly attached to his jurisdiction.
And keep them entangled with it.
Yeah.
Consciously entangled. As long as they got you consciously entangled with this shit, and you'll just loop this shit. You'll loop this shit over and over. You just
Yeah.
stay in the, you be like a hamster in a hamster wheel, just looping this shit.
Right. Right.
And they'll get you going faster and faster and faster until you fucking die of exhaustion.
Right.
And then they'll recycle your ass and get you started all over again.
Right.
It's
Well,
yeah,
they remember in the Matrix they were literally breeding the humans. They were breeding them. Even
yeah, they were growing.
even in that present state they were in, where they were constantly in a dream state or constantly in a program state, right? They were
Yeah,
breeding them.
yeah,
So there was a
and
gang of babies. There was a gang of babies that they were born in the Matrix.
yeah, and so they haven't lived this life in this uh uh in this fake world, going through all these
Manifestation, yeah.
events, but all of that is feeding the machines, giving them the energy that they need to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
everything that we engage in this jurisdiction or this realm, it because they will make it look so glorious, like nature and this beauty and all that. That's all the
mhm,
perfection and perfection. That's the perversion. That's
yeah,
perversion. That's not what it is. We
yeah,
looking at it for something that it ain't, and
yeah,
it's really not that.
yeah. So the
And that's the
most
influence. That's the influence to where we're going to keep perpetuating it.
the most evilest motherfucker can have the pattern of the pleroma within it and create something that looks very heavenly and beautiful and isn't. And it's a trap for
Wow. No, but
you.
now I kind of get the due diligence that's necessary to go past all the illusions, go past them and
Yeah.
see through them and collapse them. You got to
Yeah.
collapse them into this dark
Hmm.
state that you exist in, that you originally exist in.
Hmm. And you got to ask him, are you of my true father? Are you from my true? Are you of my true father? Who are you?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
You got to ask him, who are you? Where do you come from?
Yes.
Yeah. And we can't,
Identify yourself.
yeah, identify yourself.
Right. And we have the authority to make every being beneath us
Mm-hmm.
identify themselves.
Yep.
Because
And then once,
we come from the original monad energy.
yeah, and once we know, once they identify themselves and they're anything less of the one, that's their ass.
Right.
That's
I mean,
their
if they
ass.
want to just if they want to bow down, then they can continue to exist. But if they
Hmm.
want to, if they want to try to challenge me or challenge the energy,
Hmm.
if they want to try to challenge the energy, that's on them too. Like,
Yeah, they
do
will
what
find out their fate.
I mean,
They,
nine times out of ten, they're going to challenge you on if you if you have developed yourself to that state. As a matter of fact, they have to challenge you. We
yeah,
we've we've created the whole realm for them to challenge us.
yeah.
So it was created for us to go through this. We were supposed to go through this, and
Yeah.
it's a state of mastery that we're getting into when we master over it.
See,
It's a
no, you
state
see
of
what it
mastery.
really is that our soul has been given so much by the Father. He's given us so fucking much for nothing until we feel obligated to come down here and go through all this shit and suffer to glorify the mother and the father for everything that they've given us because we have it all.
Right. So it's like a
We have it all.
sacrifice to the
Yeah.
it's a
So we can come.
sacrifice, basically.
Yeah. This is a sacrifice. We got it. We have to. We feel like we have to go through
Some
this.
similar to what the crystal processes have to, because Christ is just an allegory for your spiritual process that you go through, your acclimatic process. Those who are going through that, who choose this path, they're going through an alchemic process, and
Well, when you,
that's when you're going through this alchemic process, you're it's just like the perfected stone, like you said, is
mhm,
melanin. It's the dark substance.
the philosopher's stone. Yeah.
Right. It's the dark substance that you're getting a level of awareness of that, and you become embodying it, right?
Hmm.
You embody it, and then now all that is beneath that, it dissolves. It dissolves
Okay.
because it has to incorporate in its original state. You have to reincorporate into its original state.
And whatever is not a
Everything
part of that, and whatever's not a part of the original world, burns
will
away.
dissolve. Dissolve, yeah.
Yeah. So don't when you cross over, don't be a fool and cross over being cool. I'm Joe Cool. You know, you better cross over as your primordial self. You better cross over as that pre-existing being before creation with that power and authority. Because that's the part of you that has the true power of and authority over the everything in this universe. And I'm talking about the creator of this universe. You will over exceed that. Okay. In fact, when the creator of this universe conceived of the idea of making a human, he was copying something greater than itself
Mm.
that it saw a reflection of, which we will learn more about when we go deeper into the Apocrypha of John. So don't worry about all this technology. All this technology is emulating the highest technology in the universe, which is us internally. We are the highest technology there is.
Yeah, I figured that years ago too. But get your
Yeah.
last word, man, brother.
Well, uh, last words. Man. Well, as we go into this red moon on Tuesday, I feel something. I mean, maybe things have already shifted and it's just going to be another day. But even if it's just another day, it's going to be another day of the shift gradually happening, just gradually happening on and on and on. It doesn't need a specific date or symbol, But then again, that's something to show you a marker telling you you're arriving in this country, you're arriving in this period, you're arriving in this town. So um, don't identify with this earthly self. I mean, you use it to get by on your day-to-day basis, but identify with the pre-immortal, the pre-existing self, the immortal, our immortal self. We must identify with that, and with authority, recognition, and command. And as we do this, we will eventually we'll change everything. I mean, we'll be able to change this reality. We'll be able to uh, we'll be a part of the process that's needed to help shift this baby into what it really supposed to be. And that means the masculine, the divine masculine, and the divine feminine coming back together in balance. Okay, this universe was built, came into existence through an imbalancement in the feminine principle. It wasn't the masculine principle, but the masculine principle must come and get with the feminine principle and reconcile everything and redo this shit in balance. And we move on from there. And we become an eternal universe, a perfect universe where beings can come down and souls can come and experience a perfect world, a perfect life. This is one of many universe that has a flaw that was came into being through a flaw. Not all universes came into being through a flaw. Some come into being through perfection. So imagine our souls may have been in a universe of perfection, and actually it was. We were with Sophia. She ruled for God knows how many eons, and then she fell. But that's because she had a desire, or you know, who knows what goes on in the black woman's head. But um, and we're all everything that was happening with her is happening with us, the good and the bad. We are all sparks of Sophia. That's our mother. And she's the daughter of a superior mother, forethought, Barbello. Okay, forethought, which is forethought, prior gnosis, incorruptibility, immortality, truth, and I guess that's it. So those are the five eons that we must cling on to, and then the rest of them. All right. So that's what I have to say. Your turn.
Well, yeah, I don't have much to say. I'm just in awe of the awareness that we have achieved in these sessions. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? My mental soul cycle alchemy. The
Hmm.
perfect title for what we do here. Soul cycle alchemy is a perfect title.
Yes.
And even in the imperfection, we are achieving perfection, bro. So
Hmm.
that's all I have to say. We out. Be on next week.
Yeah. Next week.